You're all dead. That's the end. No.
Thanks for playing.
On the other side of the black hole, you wind up in a actually nice little room. It's got a fireplace. It's warm. It's got a table with food on it. Looks pretty good food. Like little pieces of fruit and a kettle full of stew. It's pretty nice, actually. There's some utensils here, bowls, and all around the fire at one end of the room are a whole group of minotaurs sitting and eating. The things that dragged you into the black hole take one look at you, and then they exit out of a door that you didn't even realize you would pass through to come into this room. And they close the door behind them, and you are left alone with the minotaurs.
Well, this is awkward.
I'm going to take an apple out of the thing. I'm going to sit down and eat it as sulkily.
Jack, look at it this way. You didn't give away the entire mirror.
It's not the mirror. It's the hope of going home.
You know, now would be the perfect time to open yourself up to the word of Ernar.
You know, I'm not quite there yet, but if you want to proselytize, I'm still going to eat my apple.
Just letting you know, this would be the perfect opportunity.
Oh my god. You are such a great evangelist.
I know.
One of the minotaurs, whose head you totally recognize, Newt, turns towards you.
Guys. Guys, don't
Newt?
look over there, but we're in the room with monsters.
We're the monsters.
It's talking to me. Did you guys hear that? They can speak in your head.
The
You guys, for 1 second, I am trying to eat my apple.
Do all of you see them, or is it just me?
For Pete's sake, have some fruit and shut up.
Have some fruit and shut up. It rises to its hooves and starts walking towards you. It's big and very muscly. Would you like to say that again, Cave Hugger? You want to call me a monster to my face?
Well, do you want to stop calling me a cave hugger? That's insulting.
Newt, can't you just have an apple?
We don't hug caves, okay?
One of the other minotaurs sitting down by the fire calls back, Jemeth, cease, return. And the minotaur stepped forward, huffs in your face, and then takes a few steps back and sits down by the fire again. The one who spoke...
Guys, I'm pretty sure I scared it off for now, but we should probably leave.
The one who spoke speaks again and says, if you need to, you are welcome to share a place by the fire with us.
You know, that sounds pretty great right now.
It's a trap.
Are you heading over, Jack?
Yeah.
Jack, I'm telling you, it's a trap. Jack, do you remember all the cons we run? This is like those.
It's not like those.
This is exactly like those. You just don't see it yet.
Have an apple and shut up. For the love of the 17 forgotten gods, have an apple and shut up.
So you head over after yelling at Newt. You head over to the Minotaur, and you find that actually there are 3 places very specifically laid out with pillows for you to sit upon by the fire.
Hello? I am...
Zagreus, I would like to boycott the pillow, but I would really prefer it if I had my friend here with me to stand strong.
You know, Ernul respects those who deny themselves comfort.
Exactly. See, that's what I'm talking about, especially when the comfort's a trap.
So the 2 of you are remaining away from the pillows?
You know, we don't even know what they're pillows.
They're pillows.
We don't know what they're stuffed with. You don't know.
I'm sitting on one. It's stuffed with, I'm going to guess, feathers.
You know what? They could be evil feathers.
They might be evil feathers. I don't care.
Zagreus does the thing that it usually does when the bickering starts, which is to
Ignore.
It will ignore it, but, close its eyes and, attempt to draw on the obvious suffering. There's so much suffering.
Drink it in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, the suffering.
So, I mean, Jack, you get a good look at the Minotaurs now sitting close up. The one that was talking to you looks like the one in the lead right here.
Okay.
And he says, I was fairly certain they would sit.
They can be exceptionally stubborn. So can I, for that matter, but that's... At the moment, it's all a question of being practical, I'd say. Jack, by the way.
I am Leaf. I am Chief. This place makes it difficult to see the futures.
I would believe that. I would think that this place would make it difficult to see a lot of things. There are certain laws of the universe that don't really seem to apply, especially with our hosts and other strange, assorted sundry places within this town.
This is their world. It obeys their rules.
There are a lot of those. I saw the list. I have no idea what it said, but I saw it.
It was not a list.
Oh.
That was the world itself.
Oh.
Described in their own language. Difficult for any to read.
I'm assuming it's the same language that's inscribed on them at the same time. That would make some sense, I guess.
Yes, it was written by their masters. So, you really shouldn't try to steal the eye.
I'm kind of getting that picture, but I would
That's
really
why we're here.
In at least 10 versions of the events, you wind up with your neck snapped, lying on the floor, and it is messy.
I'd really like for that not to happen. Really, I would.
I think that's smart. The Himmelmenschen that you have brought with you is unlikely to see past his irrational fear of us to be able to make intelligent choices. The Ernulian that you brought with you is dangerous. You cannot let it have the eye.
Forgive the curiosity. What does the eye actually do?
Why? It lets you see the future.
Okay. And I'm assuming that revolves around the stuff like, oh hi, there's 10 possible futures in which I break your neck messily.
Well, our sight is different from the eye's. Ours is limited. Ours is weaker. The eye shows you the future as it is written. Sometimes we can break the writing, but it is difficult.
I see.
It has not been done for many, many eons. The eye would show the course of things to come.
Could the eye show something specific?
Yes, if wielded with enough skill.
Okay. I'm gonna
Yes,
ask...
the eye can show you what you want to see. This is the part where you become tempted enough to try to steal the eye. Don't.
You say that, and I'm glad that we continue to have a rational conversation about this before bad things happen, because, gosh, I'd really like not to have my neck snapped in any one of 10 different ways. I've been here 84 years, and in 84 years I have had no opportunity to find a way to get home. None. every possible solution met with a dead end. And here I am, having traded away my one piece of the way home. Can't you see that I would be tempted?
Of course. I know that you are tempted. It is given to us to resist temptation.
Ah,
'Twould be folly to attempt to steal what might be yours anyway and die for it.
now we're
Talking in riddles. So I quickly want to cut to Zagreus and Newt. So the two, I mean, Newt, I'm imagining you're standing there like watching them intently, and that might even be discern realities if you want it to be.
Oh, totally.
Go for it. And Zagreus, what are you doing?
I would like some divine guidance, please, because all that delicious suffering has to be used somehow.
All right, so go ahead and roll for your discern realities. What did you get there?
10.
So you get 2 questions or 3?
3.
Go for it. What do you want to know?
What here is not what it appears to be?
Nice. So you're glaring at them. You're studying the situation with the Torix, and that's when you start noticing something weird. The fireplace. It looks like a perfectly normal fire, but every now and then you get a weird flicker of something in it, like an eye looking out of the fire.
Hmm.
The fire is not a fire.
It's what should I be on the lookout for?
Whatever is in the fire coming out.
Okay.
As you see the eye appear, it's clearly looking around the room and looking for something in the room.
What is about to happen?
Yeah, you see actually below the eye, flickering in the flames, you see a split-second smile appear, and then you see a knife. What's about to happen is violence.
Okay.
So quickly, you wanted divine guidance when you petition your deity according to the precept of your religion. So the precept of your religion is bloody conquest, right? Oh no, sorry. The precept of your religion is preaches the sanctity of suffering. Ad petition suffering. That's right. So you're relying on suffering to be granted some useful knowledge or boon related to the domain of bloody conquest. Oh God. So you're counting on the suffering in this room being enough suffering to like get your god's attention, right?
Yep.
And that's the suffering of like aggravation?
Crushed hope.
Oh, so to me that actually means that there's a certain element where like you are actually directing all of your focus onto Jack, and you're like, feed upon Jack's suffering, my lord.
Yeah.
God, that's dark. How do you direct your god to Jack? What is the thing that you do that makes Ernul pay attention to Jack?
I imagine there's some incantation to kind of grant get his attention. And
nice. Okay.
as
and
I
like
start
use
kind
Jack's
of
name.
Yep, using Jack's name and kind of spinning the yarn of Jack and his crushed hope and how that mirror was his only link to home.
I love it. So Ernul, yeah, I mean, like you hear the faint noise that, of course, accompanies his pleasure. He's drawn to the suffering of Jack. Now his presence is faint here because this place is weird. So your god cannot reach you fully as strongly as normal. You can tell that already. But he's going to grant you this boon. I do think, however, to be clear, that there is a cost for this feeding. By directing Ernul towards Jack, Jack's strength is actually being sapped a bit. So Jack is getting, like, Ernul's feeding on Jack's misery at having lost the piece, and I think that means that, like, Jack, you're feeling like a weight is pressing upon you more and more and more as a result of Grob having fed you to her god. All right, so you're granted some useful knowledge or boon related to your deity's domain, which is bloody conquest. Okay. So this is what Ernul whispers into your ear, Zagreus. They cannot see far into the future, but just far enough to be deadly to those around them. But not you, my dear. I shield you from their sight. For a short time, just a short time. But you can kill them. You can take from them whatever you want. And they cannot stop you if they cannot see you, my dear.
Awesome.
So what are you doing?
Jack, get away from the fire right now.
I'm just having a conversation.
There is something in the fire. Move away from it.
That's great. So you say there's something in the fire, move away from it. As you say that, the blind Toryx actually, they perk their heads up, as if almost trying to see it, even though their eyes are clearly scarred shut. Zagreus, what are you doing?
Very casually getting up, and my weapon has been destroyed. So I guess we'll have to make do with, like, maybe one of the knives on the table?
Totally. There's totally a carving knife that you can pick up. Yeah.
Totally. And we're going up to the leader and stabbing him in the throat.
Oh, God. This is so good. So, yeah, all of the Minotaurs are distracted by Newt's words, right? And they're all looking up as Zagreus just walks right over and stabs the blind Tauric chief in the throat, and he, like, doesn't... There's a minute where he doesn't react at all. Like, he just gurgles and blood seeps out from around the stab wound. And I didn't see it. And then he just slumps over. The other Taurics are, like, leaping to their hooves, but they don't seem to understand what's happening. For some reason, Jack, they look incredibly confused, like they don't know where that knife came from. They don't understand what's going on right now. And then that's the instant that you start seeing the flames billow even brighter and brighter in the fireplace. Jack, you're right by the flames, and you're finding it hard to move. You're sluggish and slow for some reason that we don't have to name. What are you doing, Jack? You just watched Grob stab the leader in the throat, and the Taurics are not doing anything.
17 forgotten gods. What is wrong with you?
Can I jump in?
What do you want to do?
I want to use my heritage move, carry an ally aloft, to get him out of there.
Oh, to get Jack out of there?
Yes.
That's perfect. Yeah. So this is you leap forward and you grab him and lift him into the air.
Yeah, I fly forward. I immediately fly forward, grab him, and fly away from that fire.
That's great. I love it. Yeah, and you fly. You just quickly yank him up away from the fire, up as high as you can get. The room's not horribly huge, but it's high enough that you can get a good distance away as you pull him away from the fire quickly. And Zagreus, you're pulling the carving knife out of the leader's throat at the same moment that something leaps out of the fire. It's a small figure, and for a second it lies on the floor right in front of the fire, hunched over, and then it starts to rise, and it looks right into you, Zagreus, and it smiles. It smiles with a horrible, horrible smile.
Oh.
And she says, "Thanks ever so much for the distraction." And she starts spinning and whirling, a knife in each hand, as she starts slicing apart the Taurics. They seem to see her, and they're trying to react to her to fight her, but they were so distracted by what happened with you, Grob, like they're completely caught off balance by this. Newt, you dragged Jack far away from this cyclopean blue dwarf, and I mean you're well out of range as she's cutting into the Torix. So I mean, Grob, you're right there. What are you doing?
Is there anything that looks like it could possibly be this orb we were sent for?
In this room?
Yeah.
No, not right now. You could try looking at the corpse of the leader. Look for something there. You could also discern realities in general. And just spend some time trying to figure out, yeah.
I think we will check the corpse of the leader. Kind of keeping an eye on her as I loot.
We had just been going through what Grob was going to do, right?
Yes, Grob rolled a 9, 10, 11 to search the head Minotaur dude.
So you got, that's a discern realities then. So you would have 3 questions. You can ask, what happened here recently? What is about to happen? What should I be on the lookout for? What here is useful or valuable to me? Who's really in control here? And what here is not what it appears to be? Excuse me.
What here is useful and valuable?
Okay, yeah. The weird key that looks like it's made out of the same pearlescent material as the creature with the word on its chest earlier that you find in the pouch of the blind Tauric leader is useful or valuable.
Excellent. This seems kind of silly, but who's really in control here?
Yeah, that's immediately what becomes apparent to you. This room is starting to feel weird and it's starting to warp. Who's really in control here is this blue dwarf and whoever sent her.
Excellent. And what is about to happen?
As soon as you pick the key out of the blind Tauric's belt, his pouch, the blue dwarf sees it, her eye goes wide, and she's about to try to take it from you.
Excellent.
Yeah. So, Jack, Newt, you're on the other side of the room. Are you doing anything?
I actually do kind of have to go.
Oh, okay. Well, we can leave it in this moment as the blue dwarf is about to leap onto Zagreus Grob and start cutting into her and to take the key from her as Newt and Jack look on aghast. All right, so
I'm frozen with horror, and you guys can keep playing. You know.
Ultimately, you're frozen with horror eternally.
You know, it kind of feels like somebody's standing on my chest.
It feels like inside your soul. So this is Dungeon World, but this is the Last Days of Anglekite. A lot of what I pulled in was the setting. This tower, the abandoned tower of the Word Fae, is in the book. The servants of the Word Fae, who you fought, who are defined by the word inscribed on their chest, are in the book. The Sleeker, a cyclopean blue dwarf with psychic worms living in her skin, is in the book. The Third Eye of the Ebon Prophet, all of it is in the book, and hopefully this gives you some idea of what these things look like when you use them in the game. The exact thing that I put you guys through is not really in the book, because part of the point is that all I wanted to do is give you a whole bunch of toys and say, here are things, they're written up and statted up, use them however the hell you want. So this is the first time I've ever run the game with going to the Tower of the Word Fae, because that's where the Blind Taurics went. And that's part of what I like a lot about the setting. So thank you, everyone, for playing. Thank you, Andrea. Thank you, Ben. Thank you, Matt. I hope it was enjoyable, even though we were on for 2 hours. And for anybody who's watching this because it was linked to on the Last Days of Anglekite Kickstarter, I promise that you will probably be able to run a better game than I did when you buy the book. So, you know, you should. All right. Thanks for watching.